board games, role-playing games, painting and assembling models and miniatures. These are my hobbies. I'm Howard Blues, one half of the mildly popular, somewhat watchable, always entertaining podcast, Beer, Blues, and BS. I'm inviting you to join me on my journey through the hobby. Also, as I rebuild my cave of wonders. Hi everybody, Howard Blues, and welcome back to Howard's Cave of Wonder. I'm starting a new project. If you saw my Sorting Bones project, then you know that I ended up with two large boxes of bones miniatures that need to be assembled. So, put together, glued together, and I want to do that because after sorting the bones, I now have kind of homes for some of this. And being that a lot of these could then end up in those boxes, that's great. Clears up some space and then helps me to find things that are in here. Like if I want this, looks like a wraith on a horse. Yeah, kind of like a ring wraith on a horse. Cool. But if I wanted to find him, you know, this is something I'd find in my undead box, but I'm not going to find it in this giant brown box of baggies. It's just not delivered. So I'm working on doing that. I'm also at the same time going to work on these WizKids deep cuts that are in the packaging. I didn't have room for them on my pegboard wall, and I said because they're kind of already assembled, but they have these bases that are in there, I'm going to just open these up, glue them to the bases, and go. Although when I was kind of looking at them, it doesn't look like the sculpt's always going to really fit the base completely. So, I mean, there will be some future projects I had to do that, but kind of get through those, get those off a shelf, get them into a sorted box. That's the groovy thing. And so that's kind of the next project I'm going to tackle. And so I'll flip the camera so you guys can see the table and watch. And if you're thinking, gosh, just watching somebody assemble miniatures is going to be boring, probably. So let me interrupt past Howard, I guess I would say. When I sat down and started making this video about assembling bones miniatures, I thought it would be one of those things. I'll just set the camera up in front of the table and you could watch every single miniature being assembled. That quickly is not what it became, because it had been a while since I'd assembled all of Bones 4, and I had forgotten just how long the assembly of miniatures could take. And I'm not even like scraping mold lines and doing that. I am literally just putting pieces together and gluing. But it took a while. And what I thought might have been, a couple days, a couple nights, has turned into a months-long project. And you can see why. Some of the times I struggled to get the glue to stick because maybe I put too much glue. I even did some of this during our podcast of Beer, Blues, and BS.
I remember our freshman year of college, but it's negative 70 out with wind chill. You know, I come back from class all bundled up so that I'm, can survive. And you have the room cranked to like 80, sitting there in shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. So it's like instant sweat as soon as you walk in.
And that led to a fun situation of sometimes me gluing myself to miniatures because it's really hard to podcast, drink, and assemble models all at the same time. I've learned that. Here's a fun development. So I'm sitting here waiting to introduce my my beer here, and I see what looks to be a bit of water on my my little mat that protects my table. Ran my fingers through it like, oh, I better soak that up before it spreads or that. Guys, that wasn't water.
Was it blood?
It was glue.
Oh no!
If you can see, the old fingers there are. There we go. I finally got it glued together. I now have glue all over my fingers. Hey, Kidder.
Yep.
Do you want to feel better about your life?
Sure.
Might be time for me to stop. For the audio listeners, I now have a finger glued to the palm of my hand. I really shouldn't assemble models and drink. I'm learning tonight.
I was going to say, are you sure you accurately read off the percent alcohol volume? What did you do, Howard?
Why is your orc naked and why is he sticking off of your finger?
Well, technically it's a Yeti, not an orc.
Of course it's a Yeti.
Of course. Well, because clearly I have glued my finger to it.
Yeah. I remember my first time using glue.
It's been a few days since I last recorded. I did have one night where I sat down here and did some. I was waiting for my wife to be done, and then she decided she wanted to watch some TV. So I came down here and worked on gluing a few models together. Let me show you what I did. So not a lot, a few more from the Daimyo packs. So these samurai that you see here, kind of the one dragon that's there, the ogre, or not the ogre, the half orc I think he is. This fish guy, the Catoblepus, which is kind of cool. This guy, though, well, let's talk about this guy. So this is a Oni giant. He's a cool figure. I must have spent most of like 2 hours trying to glue him to the base. And part of the issue was, as you can see, the base is a little warped, and so he didn't have a perfect fit, and I accidentally put too much glue, so it took forever to dry. I kind of had the same problems with her, so through all of that, I'm finally done, months later. And here you can see, as you take a look at the table, everything, and it's in just one giant pile and just laying there. A couple months ago, I did a whole video about sorting bones and putting these in their rightful place in the collection. And now, the next thing that I get to do is sort all of this and put them in their rightful place and clear my table because I have other projects waiting. So that's what's next. All right, well, after a bit of work, we have everything put away. I kind of ran out of boxes, so if I flip this around, there we go. You can see have a few figures kind of hiding out amongst boxes. I'll eventually come up with a solution of how I want to handle some of these big guys. So some problems, some issues to, of course, figure out, but that's, part of it. And truthfully, like up here, I know I'm not using up here to the best of my ability, but part of that is because I'm short and I can't get up there without a stool of some kind. But the table is clear, and that's another project done. That's good. That's good. So. If you made it through this, I know this wasn't quite the video I set out originally to produce, but that's sometimes how these projects go. This took far longer than I was ever expecting to assemble all of these. I'm glad they're done because now it means I can work on some other projects that are probably also going to take a large amount of time to do, and I might change some thoughts of what I had for what I was going to do. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Hey, maybe there's a better way for me to be storing these. Let me know what you do, and also let me know what you would like to see next. I'm kind of open right now. The most stuff I have is I've got some games to put away. Well, that's the game to put away. So, with that, if you enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe. I believe that's what I'm supposed to say. Kidder would tell me. Yeah, Kidder's the expert on these things. Of course, if you ever want more content or you need something in the background, kind of like I was listening to something while I was putting stuff away, make sure to check out Beer Blues MBS. It's our main podcast where we just generally talk about whatever interests us. And, well, until next time, hopefully we'll see you down here in the cave again real soon.